Hey everyone, it's me, Wardon Spire again. I want to talk today about delusion dispelling. I know a lot of you know that the World Wrestling Federation, or whatever it's called, World Wrestling Entertainment nowadays, is fake and false and phony. But despite knowing that, many people still believe in it, still buy a ticket to go there, buy the t-shirts, and believe in the superstars that they see. I want to talk about it a little bit because WrestleMania was just this weekend, and a lot of people went to see it. 75,000 people. That's still a lot of people to go and watch this ballet dance inside of a squared circle. So I want to break it down a little bit because I wanted to break down the delusion. And the reason I pick wrestling is because wrestling is the best example to show you how the rest of the world is lying to you as well. You know, wrestling really shows you how politics works, how the world works. You see, when you watch a wrestling episode, you see commentators that are talking to you. Let's take a wrestler comes out to the ring and he bashes his chest and he runs out to the ring and he does his little dance before he gets into the ring. And this song's playing really loudly and his narcissism is flowing pure through his body. And he thinks he's really a genuine superstar when he's just an average human being. But here comes the commentators and they're blowing him way out of proportion. They give him this kind of a nickname, and they try to make him godlike. So they know he's just a human being, but they're being paid to pump him up. This guy is just a normal average guy. Anybody could be him. These punches they're throwing in the ring are not real. Not only are they not real, but you can see in many of those episodes that they have on TV how they're fake, how the punches don't even come close to hitting him in the face, how headbutts are hit to the side and not directly against the head, or how they're hit on the thumb. There are so many different ways in wrestling nowadays to make you believe that it's genuine and real. But here's the problem. Now, many people know, and I'm sure that you are listening right now, that you also know that wrestling is fake. But there are people now in the world today that do not believe it's fake. And these people are spreading their stuff around like cancer. Wrestling itself, by itself, is a cancer in the world. It brainwashes people into believing in violence. Now, I know you think that's not so bad. Who cares? People watch a little bit of blood on TV. Brock Lesnar takes a chair to the head, whatever, and he cuts himself open. What's the big deal with all that? But you don't see how violence is being spread. When you watch TV shows, it's about violence. When you watch crime television shows, violence. Everything is about violence nowadays. Your politicians are pushing you towards violence also. You have to put a stop to it yourselves and say, we're not going to take part in this. Now, back to the wrestling. Like I said, they pump up an average man to make him look like a superstar. And everybody loves him. And everybody worships him. You have to see what's going on. It's fake. All of it is fake. But it goes the same thing for politics as well. You see, you'll have one politician that goes out and says they are against homosexuality. Another politician says he's against abortion. But it's usually one politician that's against one thing. Why can't you as a politician be against multiple things? You rarely see that. You'll always see a senator running on feminist rights. You'll see, like I just said, basically one person with one issue, one group with one issue. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to just light my cigarette up. So as I was saying, take this belt from wrestling, this worldwide, whatever you want to call it, championship belt. It's a piece of leather with fake gold-plated metal on it, and they're acting like it's the most pristine thing to achieve. Once you have this title belt, you are something. But you're absolutely nothing. Because in 2 years from now, nobody's going to remember you actually getting that belt. It's just a stupid trophy. And they're fighting like madmen for this trophy. and they're not even fighting. They're acting like they're mad at each other. Think about how crazy you have to be to walk out in front of 75,000 people and pretend like you're angry at somebody and then do a ballet dance with them while the rest of the world actually thinks you're fighting them. Then walk out of the ring and act like you're still upset or that you actually became a victor, that you actually won the title. Think about how crazy that is. That you now walk out into a ring with 75,000 people around you and you pretend like you're angry, but you're not because you're just acting. You know who's going to win the match because you're already told ahead of time who's going to win the match. And you have to ballet dance for 15, 20 minutes until finally they say, enough, let yourself get pinned or pin the person. Do you see the insanity there? It's not just fake. You have to look at how it's fake. It is deliberately disgusting. They are pumping out to the world that this is violence. It is not violence. It's a ballet dance between two people. And there is a winner that's predetermined. There's a victor that's predetermined. And everything in between it is just ballet. And if you watch enough of this crap, you will actually hear them talking to each other. Yes, throw me in the corner and smack me. You'll hear that. So think about it. What are people really watching? I know you think it's great entertainment because you got off of work, you're kind of tired, you're kind of sore, and you just want to kick back with a beer and maybe some barbecue meat and then sit there and watch something on television. So you watch it. But when you really think about what you're watching, when you actually decipher it and just take it apart piece by piece and actually analyze what you are watching, you will see that it's actually super psychopathic. And they're encouraging this into the world. They're pumping this into the world, hoping to make you into a psychopath like they are. MTV, for example, does the same thing. They keep bringing out a certain persona, and they want you to imitate that persona. But that persona is psychopathic. You cannot tell me that people like Beyonce, Madonna, Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, that they are valuable people, that they are role models, that they actually stand for something good. They don't. They stand for partying, having lots of sex, drugs, alcohol, booze, and making it to the top no matter who you have to step on. That is psychopathic. That is predator. And you have to understand in this world that people are predators, that there are predators out there. And what you are seeing on television is genuine predators. They are preying on people's ignorance. That's a predator. Just like your government is preying on you because you're innocent. You don't really keep up with the politics every single day. You're not in all the bills every single day. You're not really aware of every constant change. So they are preying on your ignorance. When you understand in this world that there are two kinds of people, actually three kinds of people. There's the sheep, the wolf, and the sheep herder. I'm a sheep herder. There's a lot of people out there that are wolves, and they hate me because I'm a sheep herder. And there's also the sheep. Now, in 2015, despite people telling other people for the last 20 years that wrestling is totally fake, WWE sold 75,000 tickets to WrestleMania. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you consider the fact that it's all fake and phony, that's quite a scary amount. Those are actually people that don't really understand that it's fake and phony. Think about it. They go into first they hop a flight after they buy the ticket to hop a flight. They go to wherever the fucking WrestleMania is at. They spend a night in a hotel. Then they go to the arena. And at the arena, they find their seating spot. And they're all squished together with other people next to them who are all cheering on this fake actor. This actor's making dance moves inside of a ring and throwing himself out on the ring onto the hard, cold floor. And I'm not saying the damage they take is not real. I'm saying that their behavior and the movements are not real. Like, for example, when you see a person getting body slammed, you don't actually understand that the person who's doing the body slam is actually protecting the one who's getting body slammed. These guys who say, let's take, for example, Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. They had a fight last year at WrestleMania. Undertaker took a concussion to the head during the match. The match stopped. Undertaker left for a year. But if that match was genuine and Brock Lesnar was so-called really pissed off, that match would not have stopped. Think about it. You're watching a pre-made wrestling event that is trying to convince you it is real while you know it's not real. And they're doing such a great job of convincing you that it's real that you actually watch it and that you actually pay for it and that they actually have over 1 million subscribers to the WWE network, which costs $10 a month. Think about all that money. That's $10 million right there. You ever think of the insanity that's going on around you? Just look at it. Don't deny it. You have to stop denying what you're seeing. You have to genuinely see what you are seeing and then analyze it for what it is. See what it is. Then tell other people what it is. And when you do that, goodness will prevail over evil. It's only when good people do nothing that evil can prevail. So what is it going to be, folks? Are we going to keep letting these delusional things come into our lives and just keep taking it and taking it and taking it and hoping the world will get better while we do absolutely nothing about it? Somebody told me, how is the television show The Big Bang Theory evil? Very simply put, the Big Bang Theory television show starts out with the theme song. The theme song is a creation of Satan. It's the Big Bang Theory. They put that in the theme song. So right there, you have a creation of Satan being put out to the masses. Evolution has been proven wrong a million times over, yet people still stick with it, because that way they don't have to believe that there is a higher being than themselves. They are their own divine creature. But that's just the beginning title of the television show. There's a lot more in that show that you don't see, such as how there are couples in this television show who all seem to manage to sleep with each other, as if it's one giant orgy. Well, if you were to look through the biblical lens, you would find out that orgies are pretty demonic. You see, it started out with a couple of boys and a couple of girls. Yet all these boys have fantasized about the other girls, and the girls have fantasized about the boys. They all fell in love with each other, these friends. All these friends ended up individually falling in love with each other. So even though there's a world outside of them with 6 billion people in it, they all managed to fall in love with each other. That would be one giant orgy. But people don't want to see that. Not only that, but the Big Bang Theory itself is just a knockoff from a brainwashing tactic that they discovered during the Friends television show. When that television show Friends came out, they used the Ross and Rachel tactic on you, on the masses, on the people, keeping you glued to your television set to find out what would happen between Ross and Rachel next week. They realized this was a good tactic. They learned it from soap operas. You said if you watch women today in soap operas, they are hooked. They are very hooked into it. It feeds them emotion. You know, a world running on emotion is a world that will collapse. You could not live on emotion. It cannot be done. You are seeing it now. We used to live by law and by logic and by common sense. Now we have swapped to emotion. And emotion is not stable. And no world can revolve around emotion. But yet we are allowing it now to happen. Again, we're not putting our foot down saying, no, we're not going to allow this. President Obama actually gets some of his information from YouTube. Think about that. While Kennedy had to go do resource or recon to figure out what was going on in Russia, Obama relies on YouTube. That's the world we've come to now. This man is acting more like a celebrity than he's acting like a president. I could be a pretty good president, actually. I'm pretty sure I could do a damn good job. But I would be assassinated because I stand for goodness and righteousness, and I would actually fix the world. People have asked me, too, what would I do to fix the world? Well, one of the things I would do is pull all of our military out of foreign countries. Do not allow them to leave the country. We'll invest all of our money back into our own country. We'll make peace with the world by simply saying, look, we're not going to attack you no more. Just, you guys go do your thing. Let us go do our thing. And we all can get along pretty well. We'll open up international trade, but we don't want war with you. Let's stop with the war. Let's stop with the war. Let's take all the money that we invest in war and put it back into our own nation with our own people. Like on the F-16, there's rockets on there. One rocket could feed 1,500 students a whole day's worth of food. We don't understand as normal civilians how much money is actually invested in war. We don't. We pay for it. We supply the money, but we have no idea where our money goes to and what we use it for. Would you like to know that you actually go to work every day, work 8 hours a day, so that your government could take your money and build a rocket to go kill an innocent child, to go out there and kill an innocent family? Because that's what's going on. And in the meanwhile, you got the masses going, USA, USA. It's sick. The biggest brainwash in America is patriotism. I'm sorry to say it. Look, I love my country too. I love the sunshine of the West. I love the attitude of the East. I love it all. I don't love the government, but I love the country. But still, I wouldn't die for my country. That's stupid. That's really stupid. There's other things to die for. There's other things that are worth dying for over your country. And I'm sorry, but when a country goes out and makes constant war, who actually goes out and slaps another country in the face and then pulls her dick out and pisses over the other country, and then says for me to go out and defend that, I'm not going to go and defend that. If the cause is righteous, such as we are being invaded for no reason, then I'll be one of the first people picking up my sword and my gun and going off to war. But when our country is going around picking out enemies on purpose to suit their agenda, then I would be damned if I went out to become a soldier and died for their cause. I will die for my own cause. Thank you. And I think many more men out there today need to realize that. To start living for yourself so that you could be productive, so that you could achieve something. You don't want to have a life where you are dependent and codependent on, be it your family, your wife, your friends, or your government. I know a lot of guys out there don't even know what it's like to be a guy anymore. A lot of men today are raised on iPods and they have no clue what it is to be a guy. What is this with this new haircut I've been seeing in men lately? I've been seeing this haircut on men that's it's like a I don't know what you even call it, man. It looks like a miniature mohawk. It's fucked up, man. In Dutch they call it a kuifje, but I don't know what the hell you call it in American, man, in English. I don't understand why American kids they look like kids, man. They're like 35, 37 years old. They look like fucking kids. The anti-feminist, that guy on YouTube, the anti-feminist, he has the same haircut. It looks like he's a fucking little boy, man. It's ridiculous. We need some real men again, real John F. Kennedys again. And by the way, I want to tell you something, and I hope you all listen to this. For 5,940 years, we believed in the Bible. For the last 60 years, we have not. So anybody who even comes up to you as an atheist and says to you, the Bible's not real, you can easily say, there's 5,000 years of education that says that it is real compared to your 60 that says it's not real. But point being that I've told you before about Albert Pike, how Albert Pike wrote the letter to the Italian Prime Minister, I can't remember his name. He wrote a letter stating about the 3 world wars and how they were to play out, how they were to be panned out. And he deliberately said that in World War I, he would release the nihilists and the atheists. So if you are an atheist today, you're nothing more than a governmental tool. That's the genuine fact about it. You know, God himself does not even believe in atheists. He doesn't. He actually says that people that don't believe in him are fools. So if God upstairs is saying that atheists are fools, then why would you even listen to them? You know they're crazy. They're stupid. I'm not going to get into the if God is real, if evolution is real stuff. I'm just telling you right now, evolution has been completely debunked, and there's been 5,000 years of evidence and nobody can debunk the Bible. There's not a scientist alive today who can debunk the Bible. Not one scientist. And believe me, there are more people in this world today trying to destroy the Bible than who actually believe in evolution. They're called atheists. They don't believe in anything. They do believe in something. You see, every atheists love to say that they don't believe in God. But every atheist is out there to destroy God. Why? Why can't you just be a person who doesn't believe in something, but as an atheist, you want to destroy God? Every time I've ever come across an atheist, they're always making fun of religion. Why? You don't see religious people making fun of atheists. You don't call them. We actually, as Christians, we kind of pity them because we consider them stupid. But they are trying to trash our Bible all the time based on no facts and no evidence whatsoever. I could tell you all stuff that's been found from the Bible that's literally been found. There's chariot debris that's been found on the Red Sea floor. For a mile and a half long, there's this debris on the Red Sea floor. For when Moses parted the ocean, parted the waters in half, that's been found. Sodom and Gomorrah have been found. 2 cities that were completely destroyed by brimstone. Now, the only place in the world that we know where that brimstone is located today is in the ruins of Sodom and Gomorrah. What is brimstone? It's 98% sulfur. And it came out of the sky when God destroyed the cities. It's written in the Bible that he destroyed the cities by brimstone. And we went to Israel, and it's been found. Not only has it been found, the city has been found, but pieces of brimstone were slammed into the wall. The whole wall is scorched by fire. The city, the ruins itself, is ashes. You understand ashes? So we have 2 cities now that have been found that are located inside of the Bible, and nowhere else in history do they even talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, but the Bible does. And these 2 cities have been found, and in the cities there have been on the walls. There's brimstone slammed into the walls, scorched into the walls. The walls are burnt away, and the ruins are turning. If you grab them, they turn into ash. Well, if you don't believe that God is real, you tell me how those 2 cities burnt. Because they're burnt exactly as the Bible says it is. And they were burnt and destroyed by God himself. So there you have it. There's your proof that God is real. Unless you could tell me how Sodom and Gomorrah got set on fire by brimstone that's never been seen before on the earth, only in the Bible, when it's mentioned that God uses it to destroy the fucking city. You tell me who else did it. Did somebody come by with a big jerry can of gasoline and dump it on there and then throw these little rocks inside of the wall? Did they stick them in the wall? You folks are your own reasons why you can't believe in him. You stop yourselves. I think it's amazing right now how America, too, right now is just going down like crapper ever since they got rid of God. Let me tell you what's happened since 1960. Divorce rate went up. Evolution came in. Bible was taken out of school, okay? Fertility in women went down. The rise in birth went down. Abortion came in. Feminism came in. Sexual revolution came in. All of this happened to you at one time in the 1960s, right after John F. Kennedy was shot. So first they shoot John F. Kennedy in the head. Then they bring in abortion, evolution. Divorce rates go up. Female fertility goes down. Childbirth goes down. You think it's all just coincidental that it all just happened right after America's probably one of its most favorite presidents was killed? You have George Washington that everybody looks up to. I don't look up to him. I think he's a Satanist. He's a Mason, after all. I mean, come on, Masons are known to be Satanists. And if you look at Washington, D.C. today, it's designed in the shape of a pentagram. So I don't know why people like George Washington so much. I'm a total John F. Kennedy guy. And I don't know why my viewers keep coming and going. I mean, you either come or go. Don't keep coming and going, folks. I'm here to break the delusion. This is the funny thing. I seen the delusion actually surrounding me as a child. I seen my friends falling for it. I seen my friends taking part in trends There was this thing called an Australian jogging suit. This is the 1990s, around 1994, when this happy hardcore techno shit came out. All my friends started riding on scooters and wearing Australian jogging pants and jogging jackets that cost like $2,000, $3,000, you know? These stupid ass jogging suits. And they all thought that they were super cool, that they were all totally awesome. And I was just looking at them like, you're a bunch of fucking fools, man. And that's what all my friends were doing. They were all following the trends, following the trends, following the trends. Don't you get it? That the trends is literally the highway to hell. You actually hear AC/DC sing the song, I'm on a highway to hell. Mainstream media, folks, mainstream lifestyle is the highway to hell. Watch the movie Little Nicky. When the priest is standing on the church, by the church, he's standing there on the podium and he's saying, "Let the sin begin." And everybody's and the government, the mayor of the city is standing there too, and he's, "Yeah, man, let's just do it all whatever the hell we want to." That's what sin is. If you don't understand it, then you're going to suffer for it. God gave us rules to follow. If we don't follow those rules, we're going to be in trouble. And you could deny that he's not real, but that's only because of your own ignorance, because you haven't studied it. You haven't looked at the evidence. There is so much evidence that he's real. It's ridiculous. Okay, here's a funny thing for you. They dated the Shroud of Turin, and they said it wasn't the correct age to when Christ died. Yet, carbon dating is complete bullshit. Carbon dating is completely inaccurate and cannot even be used as an accurate measure. Yet, when they have a Shroud of Turin, a shroud with an image of Christ on it, and they cannot figure out that there's no pigment on there, there's nothing on there that indicates that it's a man-made painting or so. There's nothing, they can't even figure out what light spectrum made it. Yet they still don't want to admit that that's Jesus Christ. They did studies on the shroud, and they came to the conclusion that it was 300 billion against 1. That's the odds that it's not Jesus Christ on the shroud. 300 billion to 1. There's only 6 billion people in the world. So you can do the math right there, and you can pretty much figure out for yourself if it's real or not real. Carbon dating has been proven to be a fraud, yet people still listen to it. You hear a lot of people saying there's a lot of corruptions in the Bible. That's not true. Just because you don't understand it does not make it a corruption. The Bible has been corrupted. It has. The Quran is the corruption of the Bible. That's people out on the street. They're just hanging out, partying, I guess, in the background. Why is everything that I know not common knowledge to everybody else? What happened? Did a dumb bomb go off? What the fuck happened to the world? I grew up educating myself. I didn't have any parents, really. I was kind of a loner. I was stuck in isolation. I went from dormitory to dormitory all my life. For the ages of 8 to 15 to 16, 17, 18, I spent in dormitories. And I was reading books, man. Books, 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 books. Listening to old music, listening to old politics, reading old newspapers, studying history. And then when I came out of the dormitory, it was like I was in crazy land. I didn't understand because everything that I knew about history didn't seem to matter anymore. You all went into this high-tech new age. You see, the dormitory that I grew up in, it was pretty much lockdown all the time. They considered me to be a unruly child. So they put me in a dormitory, and they doped me up a lot. I have other videos about that, about my past. But when I was in this dormitory as a kid, all I did was study. I studied every single day. I read history and everything. But when I came out of the dorm, it's like, what the fuck happened to the world, man? You see, I don't understand why women today are fighting for equality. I don't understand that. Because in the 1950s, they had the most equality they will ever be allowed to have. And I don't mean allowed to have as in men are allowing it. I'm saying allowed to have from nature. Nature could not have given women in the 1950s more empowerment than they had. They had everything. They had a man they could control. They had a family life they could control. They had everything inside of the house. They were the total masters of the house. The man just went out and worked every day and came home and supplied the money, food, and bread. That's what he did. He paid the gas, water, and light. So now women are raising children on their own and they're saying, we're strong and independent. We can do it all on our own. But just because you can do it on your own doesn't mean that that's a good fucking idea. Why are they so, oh yeah, just like last week I uploaded a song on my channel and it was International Victimhood Day for women. And in that song I kept hearing, stop being afraid, stop being afraid. And I'm thinking to myself, what are they afraid of? They're not afraid of bad men. They keep picking bad men. So what are they afraid of? They cannot be possibly afraid of men. If they were afraid of men, they wouldn't go for the drug dealer, the man with a lot of money. Because even in the Bible it says, too, the man that makes the most money on earth is usually the most ruthless and evil person. So even if they just bothered to read their Bible, it would tell you right there that, hey, the most richest people are usually the most foulest people. So why do they keep going for the bad boy? Why? And how can they say that they're afraid and at the same time keep going for bad boys? It doesn't make sense. If I'm afraid of something, I'm not going to keep going after it. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go look for the opposite of it. But no, they keep looking for the same shit. That makes no sense. I'm afraid of drug dealers, so I'm going to go and sleep with drug dealers. I'm afraid of men. Ooh. I mean, everything that feminism lists as a bad men is exactly what they're going after. I mean, think about this. If rape is going up, if the rape is going up, and women are sleeping with bad boys, who the fuck is raping them? Is it the good boy or is it the bad boy? When women are clearly going after the bad boy, who is raping them? Think about it. So all the good boys are getting punished now for what the bad boys are doing. Think about it. You're being emasculated because of what the bad boys are doing. I mean, how about you grab your sack and say, hey, fuck this shit. I'm a guy. I'm a strong, independent man. I'm not going to take this crap. Whatever happened to those guys? All I see now is people that are rolling over, sewing your underbelly, giving up, surrendering, waving a white flag that's stuck up in your ass. What the hell? I don't understand it. Are people that afraid? How could you be afraid? You should be afraid of what they're doing. But that fear should be turned back in you that make you want to stand up and fight. You shouldn't be afraid of dying. You shouldn't be afraid of, okay, let's put it this way. What is the worst thing that could possibly happen? Your government comes in and kills you, kills your family, kills your wife, kills everybody and beats the living shit out of you and tortures you. That's the worst that could happen, right? Wrong. What's worse, the worst thing that could happen is you not standing up and fighting. That's the worst thing that could happen. Are you going to stand by while your wife gets raped? Or are you just going to say, oh, let them rape you, honey. It's just the government. Or are you going to go out and if they take your gun away, get a baseball bat and defend yourself? I don't understand why people are rolling over. It's the same thing with this government. Everybody knows that they're corrupt, yet we constantly do not impeach him. We keep allowing him to continue. And it's like, we're all going to hell right now. Let's go see what hell looks like. And then we'll decide if we're going to turn back or not. You could turn back now already, but you don't. You continue to allow these criminals constantly, every single fucking day, sit in that damn office and making laws to screw and fuck you over. Why? Oh, they're going to go after the internet. No big deal. Oh, forced vaccinations. No big deal. Oh, they're changing our food and genetically manipulating it. Oh, no big fucking deal. Oh, they're poisoning our water that our children drink. Oh, no big deal. Oh, they got a big statue in Georgia, and it says, we want to kill everybody and basically leave only 800 million people left because the world is so overpopulated. You know what? That's another funny thing. Evolution says that the world is overpopulated. God says, go out and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. So who would you want to listen to right there? Somebody who says to you, hey, Go out and have a lot of kids and be happy with your life, or go out and take a forced vaccination shot and die. I know you all still don't get it. You still don't understand that the government itself is Satan. You don't understand it. But let me put it to you this way. If there's an angel that came falling from the heavens and he landed on earth and he is seeking power like to be a god himself, then what would be the best position for him to be? Government. Think about that. If an angel fell from heaven and landed on earth like the Bible says it did, and all he wanted was power and control over the human race, what would be his best function on earth? To create government and to control the government. And you all say, oh, the Illuminati is satanic. The Illuminati is satanic. Why don't you look at the bigger picture that the government is satanic? They allow abortion, even though they know it's murder. They're saying to women, oh, go ahead and kill a baby. Go ahead, do it. It doesn't matter. It's not really a baby. It's an animal. It's nothing yet. And then these women go out and have abortions, and when they do, they come back completely mentally fucked up. Do you know that? Think about it. How could a woman lose the child inside of her and not completely go mad? It can't be done. Oh, sure, she'll seem all right on the outside. Sure, you can still have sex with her, but she'd be completely fucked up inside of her brain. And usually that fucked upness doesn't come out till 20 years later, until she finally realized, shit, I can't have another kid. I can't have a kid anymore. And a lot of women are also getting so scarred from these abortions that they can't even have kids anymore. Now, I know you all think that's no big deal because you're all MGTOW men and you're all like, oh, who cares? But if you're also a real man, you should care a bit, because you're still a man. They are still the other half of humans. And I know we don't give a shit for their attitude, but come on, could you really sit there and watch a million of them die in front of you and not do anything? No, you'd have a problem with that, especially stepping over their dead bodies. You'd have a problem with that. So don't tell me there as a MGTOW man that you're so strong and powerful enough that you could actually watch a million women die in front of your fucking face and not do anything about it. Don't tell me that shit. I know that's not true. And that counts for every fucking MGTOW man out there. Your natural nature, your instincts alone would step in. You wouldn't even have control of your brain to go, oh, fuck, they're just females. No. If you watch them die one by one, all just got shot in the head, eventually you would stand up and say, no more. And that's your own masculinity as well. You see, masculinity cannot even exist without femininity. Femininity is actually what grows masculinity. You don't believe me? Then why is it since feminism is coming in that masculinity has gone down? Think about it. Masculinity has gone down thanks to feminism. There used to be a time a man worshipped his woman, but she worshipped him too. And her worship created masculinity in him. Her worship to her man created the beast that she wanted to have. You know how women are today? They want the bad boy, but then the bad boy ends up beating them up, and they don't want the good boy because the good boy doesn't have the beast in him. The good boy does not have the beast in him because she has not created the beast in him, because she herself is not feminine. Femininity creates masculinity. If you don't believe me, have a beautiful wife who is super frail, who has taught you everything about her, everything that you needed to know about her, who's had sex with you, has love with you, and then she dies, just like that. You'd be heartbroken. The only reason you'd be heartbroken is because she grew inside of you. You don't understand that about females. They have controlled the females now. They have literally said to females, stop being feminine. Stop being feminine. And you wonder why women are crazy today. They don't know who the hell they are anymore. By nature, they are to be feminine. And feminists have said to them, don't be feminine. And look what is happening on impact on the men. Men are becoming demasculated, emasculated. Look at Japan, for example. Men in Japan would rather fuck a robot toy than fuck a real woman. They would rather read comic books about men and women having sex than themselves going out having sex. Why? Because getting rid of femininity and replacing it with masculinity kills male masculinity. You all see it in the nature. What happens when there's a female in heat, a female lion's in heat? Well, usually two men come up to the female lion and they fight to the death, or they fight until one backs off, and then they mate with the female. But that's creating testosterone in the male. I have two dogs. I have a male and a female dog. When the female's in heat, my masculine dog, my male dog, will actually go against me. I'll tell him, no, you can't have her yet because she's too young. But he's like, fuck you, dude. Yeah, I know you're my master, but I'm horny. So that's how my dog acts. My dog will act like that. He'll actually turn on me to get to the female. It's the same thing with men. Oh, and by the way, if evolution was real, would you consider that feminism belongs anywhere in the evolution chain? What is it? Man going from stone, from soup to monkey, monkey to man, from man to slave to female? Is that what evolution would be for men? And not only that, but why is it that everything that men are going through right now, it's like they're being pushed to do it. You're being controlled to do it. That's not freedom, folks. Freedom is the right to say no. You have the right to say no. You have the right to say, I'm not going to participate. How can you have police officers in the United States right now pulling guns on their own citizens and not thinking there's something wrong with that? How could you be so evil as a police officer to beat a female up on the street simply because you have the power to do so? Why are the police officers in the United States being refused a job if their IQ is over 80? If you're a smart man with a decent IQ of 120, 130, they don't want you. They want drones that they can control. The people should be offended by that. If your house is being broken into at 3 o'clock in the morning and you call the police up, would you want the police officer to show up at your house with an IQ of 80 who sees a moving target and just shoots it because he's terrified that it might be a person like a burglar or a villain? Wouldn't you like to know that when you have a police officer show up at your house, he has an IQ of at least 100 so that he can understand what you're telling him? Or am I just crazy there, folks? Back to the 1950s. We had all that. Many of you do not know the old television show I Love Lucy. But if you're a MGTOW man, you should watch every episode of I Love Lucy. Because that teaches you how to be a real man. You see, Lucy Ball, played the role of I Love Lucy. And in this, she was the role Lucy. And she had a husband whose name was Ricky Ricardo. And Lucy would continuously get herself into trouble. And she would cost Ricky a lot of money. And Ricky would get really upset. He'd be like, what the hell are you spending my money on? And she would try to cry and throw an emotional fit to get out of her punishment. But Ricky would actually grab her arm, pull her over his leg, and spank her on TV. They were married in real life, too. You see, men used to be allowed to correct their females. It's our job to correct females. If you don't believe me, hasn't society shown you what happens to females when you let them run free? They become wild. That's why men used to put limitations on them. That's why men used to control them. It's not a crime. That's what you do to maintain the respect. Did you know in the 1950s, when a female fucked up, the man was responsible for that? They don't tell you that with sexual revolution in the 70s. But in the 40s and 50s, if a woman screwed up, the man was responsible. So the man also had the right to correct his female. But now it's no longer the issue, now is it? Now the man is still held responsible, but he can't control the female. A man used to take away his female's allowance for the week if she screwed up. He used to educationally slap her. He would. There used to be like a rule too. You can't hit a woman with a stick thicker than your thumb. There used to be all these rules. And that was pretty much the patriarchy back then. That's why people don't like patriarchy. It's male ruling over female. It's male leadership over female. The patriarchy itself is from the Bible. It's from God. And you see feminists fighting God all the time. They're always fighting God. They hate God because God always says that men rule over women. This is why I don't understand why men hate God in the first place. God literally says that men rule over women. God is Mikto. Haven't you figured that out? Jesus Christ lived. Jesus Christ died. He never had a girlfriend. He never wanted a female. He knew that they were nothing but trouble. He himself was Mikto. And why would you hate a man who went around healing people, helping people out? How could you hate that? What is there to hate about that? And he's not the only person that rose him from the dead, He actually raised Lazarus in front of 1,000 people. I could tell you a lot of stories about that, but you're all not interested in that. All you want me to do is post videos about how stupid women are. I'm not going to keep doing that too much. I mean, we all know how stupid they are. It's time to get a little bit deeper in Mikto, guys. Otherwise, we're nothing more than Eddie Murphy in the 1980s. We just made fun of women for being that way. And then come the 90s, they wrote a book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. That was the most stupidest, destructive book ever made in the history of mankind. Shit. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. That really fucked up families worldwide. The woman that wrote that book should be shot in the head. She should be dragged out in the public square, stripped naked, beaten, and then shot in the head. And those damn Daniel Steele books didn't help either. They want the perfect man with the perfect body, with the perfect income, and the perfect job. They don't seem to realize that Mr. Perfect has about 1,000 women chasing him. You don't want no one. He wants them all. He doesn't want to tie down to one of them because he'll take half of his shit. I mean, are women truly that stupid not to realize that we men know that if we marry them, they're going to take half of our shit away? Maybe we should let women buy the houses from now on. Maybe we should let women pay for all the bills. And then when we divorce them, we take half of their shit. See how they like it. I'm tired of this stupid ignorance of men, that men believe that women are weaker than them, that they can't take as much shit as they can. Are you kidding me? If they can give birth, they're pretty damn strong. We make them weak by thinking they are weak. When woman was created, she was created to be our helper. Well, let's see here. That's kind of like the donkey and the master. They can carry stuff too. They can do things too. I hate the mangina that doesn't do anything, that never lets a woman do anything, and they have to do everything. It's ridiculous. And I'm not even sure I'm going to keep this live post up or not. I might just take it down. I'll see later. I'll look back at it later and think about it. But I really wanted to talk about the grand delusion, man, that's out there. There is a delusion out there right now, and it's trying to get you. And you have to admit that all of the elements of this delusion are trying to point to you and say to you, God is not real. Every element of it, be it your Illuminati, your government, everything that you think of, that you know, that's destroying the world right now, everything today that is destroying the world today is anti-God. Be it the homosexual movement, the feminist movement, every movement you could think of, the government, ISIS, whatever you could think of right now that is destroying the world is anti-God. Try to deny that. Try to deny that the atheists are not nihilists. Try to deny that females are not nihilistic. Go ahead. But all the elements that are trying to destroy the world today do not believe in God. All the elements keeping the world up today, keeping the goodness in the world today, are those that believe in God. If there was nobody left in this world today that did not believe in God, the world would die and go to hell. As is today, I would think that the world today is about 80%, 80 that believe in God, and 20% that do not. And yet that 20% is destroying the world for the 80%. Do not believe for a second that there are more atheists on this planet than there are people that believe in God. That is not true. Atheists are actually a small sect, cult in this world, a cancer in this world. And if they don't want to believe in a God, fine. But that's not what they do. They try to destroy the Bible. They try to make God look like a fool. They're actively trying to turn Christians against them. That's what they're doing. They're not just out there saying, okay, I'm an atheist, don't bother me with it. They come to the Christians with an attitude, and they come to the Christians seeking a fight. When they get the fight, they go, see, Christians are violent. No, we just defend ourselves. And we have every right to defend ourselves. I heard last week from a person that said to me, the Christians are violent. They killed a lot of people during the Crusades. And I'm like, wait a minute, don't you know what the Crusades was about? And they go, yeah, it was Islam versus Christians, and the Christians slaughtered a whole bunch of Muslims. I'm like, no, excuse me. Jerusalem was being taken over, and the people from Europe got together, and they went to go defend Jerusalem. They went to go defend Christianity. You see, the Crusades was a defensive stance from the Christian side. The Muslims attacked, we defended all 3 times. And there's nothing wrong with defending your life. It is not the Christians that are saying, become Christian or we will behead you. It is not the Christians that are saying, believe in our religion or we will kill you. It is not the Christians that are attacking. It is the Christians that are defending. Everything that you think that you know is the opposite of what's real. Oh, by the way, if God was not real, you tell me where discernment came from. Because nobody has discernment unless you know God. It's a gift that God gives you. And yes, even the people that grew up as a Christian, but then swapped to atheism, still have the discernment. And that is why they always come to you and come against the Bible. Because they stepped away from God, and now they want you to come with them. Every atheist that you know knows the Bible pretty well. Why is that? If you're an atheist, you wouldn't know about God. You wouldn't bother to read the Bible. You wouldn't care what you're reading. You wouldn't even bother to read it. You'd be too busy with your iPod, shooting pool, shooting up, taking drugs, or fucking women. You'd be doing something else than reading that book. So why is it that almost 90% of all atheists know the Bible very damn well? More better than the average Christian knows. Why? Have you ever thought that perhaps an atheist decided to become an atheist because they read the Bible and they decided to be on the side of evil, that they read what evil was doing and decided, okay, I'm going to join that side instead of joining the side of goodness? Do you not understand that there are bad people in this world? People that want to be evil. Hasn't the Joker from Batman taught you anything? That there are people out there that deliberately want to watch the world burn? How can you have peace and equality and all that bullshit when there's people out there that do not obey those rules? You're all so spoiled. You know why? Because the people that do not believe in equality, justice for all, the people out there that are the jokers, they're all locked up behind bars. But if they were free on the street and it wasn't a dog eat dog world, they would survive and they would win. So just because you have them all locked behind bars now you want to have a world of equality. You want to lock away the bad people so that you could have a world of equality. That will never happen. Hasn't, I mean, these are false flag events, but hasn't the Boston bombing shown you that will never happen? Hasn't the shooting in Colorado at the movie theater shown you that will never happen? That no matter how many times you keep locking up the bad people and trying to force world peace, it'll never happen because there are people out there that just want to watch the world burn. So how about you give up the dream of world peace and start defending yourselves and creating the peace? You can only have peace when you defend. You cannot have peace when you are the attacker. And like I said, the United States, man, they are the attackers for sure. Albert Pike is worshipped in Washington. He's in the Masons' mausoleum there. He's seen as a hero. The government is following his script, the script he wrote in 1870. That script came alive in 1903 when the First World War happened. How can you have a letter that's written in 1870 actually happen 30 years later without it becoming a script? Even Albert Pike said himself that he had a vision of the three world wars that would lead to one world order. You understand that? They are following a script, a manuscript written by Albert Pike. Think about that. A Confederate. That's what they're following right now. I mean, you as a civilian say, why is my country going to hell? Why am I losing my health insurance? Why is this happening? Yet there's a manuscript out there, Morals and Dogma from Albert Pike, that tells you in full detail what's going on. And then when you try to tell people, hey, look, there's a script right here, and they're following the script to the T, they don't listen. They call you crazy. They call you a conspiracy theorist. How are you a conspiracy theorist when you know there's a letter out there that was written in 1870 that came true in 1903, 33 years later? Think about it. Oh, sorry, 36 years later. Point being is they know what they're doing. And we keep thinking that they're ignorant and stupid. We all like to think that Obama is stupid. He's not stupid. He's very smart. We think he's stupid because he's destroying the country. But what if your goal is to destroy the country? Some people want to watch the world burn. You see, when America's economy was prosperous, when America had a good country going and a good, strong economy, that was during the time of John F. Kennedy. After that, it all went downhill. Every bit of it went downhill. Is that just coincidence, folks? Or could it be that laws came in to suffocate you, to put anchors on you, to slow you down? It's such a clear pattern to see. Kill the good president, bring in a fake president, an evil one, that starts making laws against your own nation, against their own people. Keep introducing new presidents from the same club, from the same elite corporation, from the same people that have the same goals as you do. Keep making them president over and over and over again. You know, you can go out and vote for your president, but your vote means nothing. Because if the people that are counting your votes are evil, then what does your vote mean? Like when President Bush got elected, how the votes in Florida went missing. You all remember that? Probably not. How they weren't counted up properly. I don't understand why people can't see this. It's so clear. I mean, you could make this into a movie. It's that clear. Think about it. Your president is shot. The country is taken over. It's taken hostage. Slowly, the hostage takers are suffocating the people that they're taking hostage. They start bringing in militarized police to control and govern the people. And pretty soon, you're so suffocated that you end up giving up, feeling like you can't stand up against them because it's just you versus a tank. That's the tactic they're using. When somebody is being attacked by a psychopath, the psychopath likes to use gaslighting tactics on them and make them always think that it's their fault, that they're the ones that are doing it, that they are responsible for the abuse that they are receiving, that they must have done something wrong to achieve that abuse that they are receiving. That's called gaslighting. And under gaslighting, as well as the abuse that you're going through, they also like to use tactics on you to make you, like I said, make you think that it's your fault, but also to make you feel like you cannot get out of it, and also to make you feel like too afraid to approach them. If you live with a person who's narcissistic, you don't know when they will lash out. So you're afraid of just saying hi to them because you don't know if you say hi to them might trigger something to them and they might lash out at you. So you end up walking on eggshells. You're too afraid to say the wrong thing at the person. You're too afraid to do the wrong thing at the person. You're too afraid to use the bathroom like at 7 o'clock in the morning because you don't want to wake them up. It's like all of a sudden you become afraid to do wrong things because you don't want to upset them. That's walking on eggshells. But there's nowadays the American government knew if they used the terminology of walking on eggshells, people would understand what's going on. They would see the entire tactic. So instead of calling it what it really is, walking on eggshells. And by the way, the American country is so good at this. America deserves a fucking medal for doing this. And America is the only country I've ever seen to do this and gotten away with it. America likes to use words that alter bad things, such as murdering a baby inside of a mother's womb. Instead of calling it killing a baby inside of a mother's womb, they call it abortion. America likes to make new words for things that are very evil. It's disgusting. So, walking on eggshells is a term used in psychology. When I just told you what it's about, that people are too afraid to approach the target. People are too afraid to interact with this person because they don't know when they're going to explode. So they end up walking on eggshells, too afraid. Well, walking on eggshells is identical to political correctness. So if you understand that political correctness is a dirty, disgusting tool that is used against you, then you would see the rest of it as well. You would wonder why your government uses a tool that is so nasty against you if they cared about you. And the only reason you can come up with that they would actually use this against you is that they do not care about you. Political correctness is disgusting. It is so horrible. You have to get out from underneath it. You have to destroy it. As long as political correctness does not die in the world, then we're just sitting ducks. We're just going to be leached off of by the parasites. The elite are not the elite. They are parasites who have parasited off of us so long that they have so much wealth. You all must know what happened with Napoleon and the Rockefellers with the war in England. With the stock market, how Rockefeller became rich in the first place. He tricked the world economy, and he ended up walking away with tons and millions of pounds. He basically robbed all of Europe, and that's how he became the elite of the world that we know today. That's evil. He robbed everybody to become rich. The rich usually rob people to become rich. They're not somebody to look up to. They're somebody to despise. The elite are not the elite. They are the zeros. We, the people who keep surviving without having much money, we, the people that keep living and not giving up, we are the elite. And they suck off of us because we give them power that they themselves can never generate. All the power that they have is because we gave it to them. We fed it to them. Look at the government. All the people in one country donate into one pot, and we basically give it to one group saying, here, take care of our problems for us. That power, nobody can wield such power. And yet we keep entrusting people to wield that power. We can't do it. You would actually need to have a Congress of 1 million people to control that kind of power. It would have to be spread over 1 million people's votes. You can't just do that with 200 people in Congress. It doesn't work that way. Even if you have 1,000 people in Congress, it's not enough people. Because many of them can be bought off, many can be paid off, many could just be corrupt, like many could just want to watch the world burn. You can't do it. There's nobody in this world that can control that much power and not let it go to their head. But John F. Kennedy was pretty good at that. He didn't really allow it to go to his head. Sometimes he did, and sometimes he didn't. But the major things he didn't. I miss that guy as a president, man. You know, the origins of female. Women used to be very strong. Very strong. They used to be very feminine. Men would fall in love with them just because of how powerful they were and how beautiful they were. Men do not hate female power. They just don't like when females use their power for evil. Women in the Bible back then, man, they used to give birth in the desert. And they used to scream in pain giving birth. But they did it, and then they raised the children as well. They were strong people. I mean, I've heard stories today of women in Africa that walk 3 miles a day to get water and then walk 3 miles back to bring the water. That's a strong woman, too. I don't mind strong women. There's no man that really does mind strong women. We just don't like evil women. Women that'll let their power go to their head. Women that don't understand that men give them the power in the first place. It reminds me of that scene from the movie The Bug's Life. You've all seen the movie The Bug's Life, with they basically say, one ant stands up against us, they might all stand up against us. And how we outnumber them 100 to 1. We all see ourselves as individual. We don't understand how we are united. We are powerful, united. Hasn't Anonymous showed you all that over the years, how powerful they could be when they all unite together? Isn't that why America wants right now equality instead of unity? Because unity is really the true goal. Unity is where you all get along. It's not all joining for one cause. It's where you all get along, which is peaceful. But equality is, I deserve to have as much as you do. It's always competition. It's competing with each other. Equality is competition, while unity is understanding each other's weaknesses and strengths. It's actually in unity where chivalry came from. But chivalry was a disgusting side branch that was a corruption of unity. That was mostly brought in because of prosperity. We have to stop seeing women as weak. They are not weak. Show me where they are acting weak in divorce court. Show me where they're acting weak when they spend thousands of the man's dollars and the man is risking going to jail trying to make payments. Show me where they are weak. If women were weak today, MGTOW wouldn't even exist. We exist because females have let the power go to their head. They use emotion to get away with everything. Emotion is now legal in court. It used to be completely unacceptable. Judges used to tell women to shut up when they were crying in court. Now when you go to court, there's a box of tissues on the fucking desk. Think about that. Female judges, man, that could never go well. Never. They have so many alternative motives, man. It's just ridiculous. Why are we allowing females to rule the world? Why? They're not smarter than us. They don't make more things than we do. We are the creators. They are just the leeches. Come on, guys. You're all raised by single mothers nowadays. Do you all believe that you have to serve the pussy, serve the vagina? It's disgusting. Be men. You have to know that it's that person that's inside of you that you keep locking away. If you keep locking him away, you will never become the man that you want to be. You have to let that guy out. And everybody wants you to keep that guy in. But if you let him out, I'm not talking about some disgusting guy inside of you like some pervert or something. But the guy that you always wanted to be when you were a little kid, that guy you dreamt about being, if you let him out, then evil can't win. America right now is fighting with their gun laws. They don't even understand that guns are not even really that important. I understand that, that you've got to keep your guns. I'm all for keeping the guns, but I also understand that guns are not really that important. If somebody came and took your guns, well, then all you have to do is get a big jerry can of gasoline and throw that instead, and light that on some fire and throw that instead. Guns are little bullets, they're 9 millimeters, 12 millimeters, 15 millimeters. You can do a lot more damage than just needing a gun. You could build your own, weaponry, whatever you wanted to. You could make pits in the grounds. If anybody came by, they'd fall in the pit. There's many ways of taking people out. It's not just guns. But I'm all for guns. I understand how guns are good. I understand that. I mean, I myself, when I was in the States, owned one as well. But guns, everybody's like, so gun, 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 gun. I mean, again, didn't the Joker from Batman teach you anything? What did he say? That he doesn't prefer guns. He prefers a couple of sticks of dynamite as a gasoline. That does a lot more damage than a 9 millimeter bullet. Okay, a bullet's more deadly and accurate, but a couple of jerry cans of gasoline is pretty bad too. I'm not telling anybody to go do that or anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's just like, why is everybody so into guns when there's more things out that are more dangerous? I mean, how would a gun stop 9/11, for example? A bullet versus airplane? I don't think so. Wasn't it a bunch of box cutters that made that plane fly into the airplane, into the building? It was box cutters, right? Bunch of men come in with box cutters. See how guns are so trivial then? Even animals are more deadlier than a gun. If you had a pack of 50, say you had a pack of dogs, 30 dogs. If the military came in, you'd release all 30 dogs, That's a lot more dangerous than having a handgun. A car is more dangerous than a handgun. You could do anything with a car. I mean, it wasn't that proven in France when they were driving cars into buildings? I think it was. Guns, I mean, I don't understand this whole gun grab in the first place. Why are they so worried about the guns when people are driving machines made out of metal that run on flammable fuel? Isn't every single car basically a grenade waiting to go off? And yet they're all worried about guns, guns, guns. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I understand it all, but damn. You could even rig buildings to fall on people if they came inside your building. Rig the building. I mean, didn't that shooter do that too in the Colorado shooter? He had like bombs set up everywhere in his house, and they had to take like 3 days to dismantle to get into his place to check out why he was so crazy. They went looking in his computer and stuff like that. I have to think that the gun grab is there's something else behind it than just trying to take the guns. There's something more behind that. They don't have guns in Europe, and that's quite a shame. Because here, all the criminals have guns, but the good people don't. But on the other hand, the good people here do seem to stand up pretty quick, man. I've seen some really cool things here in Europe. I've seen a lot of cool rallies take place here. I've seen stuff happen here that would never happen in the United States, never. People in America give in. Europeans, I don't know, they still fight for what they believe in. You know, it's very common where I live that there's still families with 5 children, 7 children. It's still pretty common here. Divorce here is pretty low too, compared to the States, definitely. And I know the States is a lot bigger, blah blah blah. But we all have our own issues. Every relationship has issues, and yet they seem to survive here. Women here don't seem to really give up that quick either on the man, like they do in America. Man don't satisfy you. Oh well, next guy. Now serving number 20. Oh, now serving number 30. It's ridiculous. And guys are all getting crushed all over the place. I mean, isn't that a great way to get your to demoralize your country? To have the females turn against the men, and then all the men walking around depressed, like depressed zombies, making child support payments, risking going to jail, getting locked up in jail. Isn't that a great way to demoralize your country? Shouldn't your government also care about these guys? Shouldn't the government say, there's a lot of guys in prison. Maybe we should re-examine their cases and give them another chance and see if they can't make it out there. All we do is just lock them up and forget about them. And then there's the homeless men. The homeless men, you know, you don't know what really happened to them. A lot of people go, hey, you drug addict, you bum, you alcoholic. What about, hey, you father out there trying to make payments and couldn't, and you ended up homeless, and you went off the grid to become homeless, so that way you would have to keep paying so nobody would find you? What about that? What about the man that went bankrupt because he couldn't take care of the woman's demands anymore? Why do we keep looking at homeless people like they're complete losers? I mean, it's ridiculous. We, the MGTOW men, keep talking about how bad females are. We men are not that better. We keep walking past homeless men too. We don't help them out. I try to help them out when I see them, but I can't always help them out. But you do have an obligation to help them out, man. You shouldn't just walk past them and say, you know, like, oh, you scumbag, go get a job or whatever. You should care. And if you want to say you're a good person, you should care. I've been here for a lot of the guys too on my channel. I've been here with a lot of you guys, and I've helped you out. I cared too. Pay it forwards. And you also look and check out what Pay It Forwards is. If you don't know what Pay It Forwards is, go check it out. It's quite awesome. It's a really quite awesome system. I don't know if the movie is genuine or not. It's probably not. It's probably a load of bullshit. But the movie's pretty powerful too if you don't really understand what the system is. It's a bit corny also. I just been yapping here for what, like an hour or something? I don't even know if I'm going to keep the broadcast up. I don't know if YouTube's even going to fuck with it or that my microphone's cracking right now. I don't know anything like that. I have to find out later on when I listen to the recording. I'm probably going to go, ah, man, I sound like shit. I'm going to just delete this. I'm quite surprised that I still have four viewers listening to me. I had a pretty nice comment today. I have 5 people listening to me. Hey guys, I don't know if you can leave a comment or anything, but when I look later on this video, I can see you guys talking on the comment list. See what your views are. If you might think I'm totally crazy or actually quite sane. I don't know if you've all seen the movie The Blast from the Past. It's a movie with Brendan Fraser. And they basically live in the 1950s during the time of JFK, and they get told that the bomb is going to drop. So they pretty much run into the bomb shelter, and in the bomb shelter they live their normal lives for 50 years. They don't even know that the war is over. They don't know if there's anybody alive on Earth. They don't know. They've been living in the bunker all this time. But the son wants to find himself a wife. So he goes up to the top and he wants to see if there's anybody alive or not. But he's basically been living in the 1950s lifestyle all of his life. And he comes up to the Earth and it's now 1994 and everything has changed and everybody's different. And he doesn't understand what's going on, how the world has changed so much. I kind of feel like that myself. I mean, I spent a lot of years, like I said, when I was growing up, in that dormitory, and I learned what history was, and I couldn't believe the reality that we live in now. It's not even that hard to go back. People keep saying that it's almost over, the end of the world is here. It's not that hard to go back. It's people don't want to go back. Nobody wants to make sacrifices. Nobody wants to give up money. There's too much greed. It's too much selfishness. You should care about the other people next to you. You should really care about them. I live in a small town right now, but whenever I go to the city and I go buy myself lunch, I always buy 3 lunches. I buy 3 sandwich rolls. And when I go walking downtown, I look for homeless people and I give them a sandwich with me. And I actually eat my sandwich with them. Could you imagine how great that would be if many more people would do that? That at lunchtime, instead of running to some fancy restaurant where you're paying $200 for a fucking omelet, you just go out and buy a couple of sandwiches and you find a homeless person, you sit down with them and eat a sandwich with them. That's what I do. It's totally cool. You actually walk away feeling like you did something really good for somebody else. And that high makes you want to seek that high. There's really there's such little things in this life that give you such a high. Sex doesn't even give you such a high. I'm telling you, if you have enough money, if you have like $10 and your lunch only costs $5, spend the other $5 on another lunch, find a homeless person, and eat your lunch with them. I'm telling you, man, it's really quite cool. Life could be pretty great if you make it great. You don't have to worry about them coming to kill you or whatever, these homeless people. They'll be really grateful for the lunch. You guys don't have them in America. You don't have them, but they're called durums. And they're basically meat wrapped inside of a tortilla shell, and they cost $5 here. And I usually buy like 2 or 3 of them when I go out downtown and I look for homeless people and I hand them out. And I don't do it to make myself feel good. I don't do it to show off. I just do it because it makes them happy. When you see somebody else say "thank you, sir," or "God bless you," and they actually smile at you, and they look at you like you really helped them out, and you receive that feeling like, without me, they would not have had this. Without my effort, they would not have had this, and they are grateful for what I've given them. That feeling, man, makes you feel really good, and you really want to go out and do it more. And the more you do it, man, the more you get back. That's why I was really happy with Mayor of Midtown's homeless movement. But before he came out with his, I already had mine going as well. But what he's doing is taking it to a whole new level, and I really think that's cool. And I think everybody should donate some money to Mayor of Midtown for helping the homeless. You know, one big stock market crisis, and you yourself could be homeless. A meteorite hitting somewhere in the world at the wrong time could make you homeless. It could hit a company that your company happens to work for, and you might go unemployed because of it. There's a lot of things that could happen, man. That's why we're all on this big giant rock together. Why don't we support each other? Why do we keep trying to attack each other and the strongest will survive and evolution rules and selfishness and greed? You know, Adolf Hitler believed in evolution, right? He believes in a master race. That's evolution for you. I believe in creation. I'm a creationist. And I know my version of what happened when the world was made until today sounds very weird to you. But you know what? My version of the story of what happened today, what happened to the world up to today, has one long story, one continuous story, all the years mixed in between. Evolution doesn't have any story. It's 36 billion years ago we were made, blah, 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 Big Bang Theory. There's no chain of events. But the biblical story is a perfect chain of events. You know, a lot of people say the Bible's not real, and that's fine. But that's not evidence that it's not real. That's just people saying it's not real. There's no evidence that says it's not real. There's actually a lot of evidence proves that it is real. I love it when I say the word Bible and I see 2 viewers just disappear off my viewing list. It's quite funny to me. I'll say it again, Bible. I notice you fuckers do that to me too. If I make a video out there telling you how bad women are, oh man, I'll get a lot of views. But if I make a video that says Bible in it, it's like I hear crickets in the background, no views at all. So I know what you guys are all about. That's why I keep giving you MGTOW and Bible. MGTOW, Bible. I keep feeding you guys MGTOW, Bible. Not just MGTOW. You want that shit, go to Sandman, who only does it for the money, by the way. That's another whole debate. I like Mayor of MGTOW lately because he's always making shout-outs to people. That's pretty cool. He made a bad shout-out about me. I was quite upset about that. He said, I want to make a shout-out to Wardrum's Fire. Like him or leave him. He entertained you. And then that he called me entertained. That pissed me off, man. Like I'm some kind of fucking clown here just talking to everybody and juggling some balls and squeaking my red nose with my big floppy feet. Entertainment. Oh, I hate that word. I made a video called The Lotus Room, and you all didn't watch my video, and you lost a lot of information from not watching that video, I tell you. The Lotus Room video was quite hard for me to explain to you, and I did it pretty well, and you all didn't give a shit. You're all like, hey, they bastard women, we don't want to see it. If Mr. Wardrum's Fire ain't smacking on women, we don't want to hear about it. You dickheads. Douchebags. I love you guys. Maybe. So who's all viewing anyways? Why don't you like leave a comment saying who you are, whatever. I've seen a pretty cool new viewer on my channel, by the way. I think it was called Put Your Glasses On. I thought that was a really cool name. I'm not sure if that was his name, Put His Glasses On, but I thought it was. I can look it up and see who it was. It was just a pretty cool name. This reference from the movie They Live. That's another thing, man. I grew up on the movie They Live. I watched that when it came out in movie theaters. They Live. And that really it did open my eyes to the world, I guess, a lot. I was like, what, 3 or 4 or 5 when I first seen that. I mean, I was a kid when Conan the Barbarian came out and Conan the Destroyer. I went to Universal Studios and watched the live show of Conan the Barbarian. It was sick, man. It was fucking sick. That's what I grew up on, is just strength and power and being independent and strong. I think it's quite sad to see the men these days holding purses and sitting in shopping malls with their women. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Now I remember. You all have been seeing these things called pranks on the internet. And you'll notice that some of these pranks are completely disgusting. Like this stupid-ass clown that goes around with a sledgehammer. And they acted like they want to kill somebody. They smack a watermelon, and it looks like a dead head getting smashed. And then this clown runs around giggling with a sledgehammer in his hand. Those kind of videos, expect a lot more of them to come out in the world. They are, I don't know how to really label those people. They are psychopathic, but psychopaths are now becoming the norm, so you're going to start seeing a lot more psychopathic stuff. If you all like the movie They Live, watch the movie, well, give me 1 second. What's it called again? Shit. Oh, crap. Why can't I think of it? Every time I think of the title, I can't remember it. It's with John Ritter. Okay, I have to look that up. I'm pretty sure it's called Remote, but I'm not really sure. Let me quickly look up the name of that movie. No, I can't think of the damn name, man. Anyways, it's a movie about him and his wife are fighting because he's always watching television. He's sitting there watching football all the time. She says she's going to leave. She ends up throwing a bowling ball through the television and breaking the television. And that night he gets a ringing at the doorbell, and he opens up his door, and it happens to be Satan there with the brand new television set for him that's really gigantic. And he brings the television in his house, and he gets sucked up in the satellite. Now I remember the name of the movie. It's called John. It's from John Ritter, called Stay Tuned. Check out the movie Stay Tuned. If you like They Lived, you have to watch Stay Tuned. Once you watch Stay Tuned, man, you'll never see television again the same, ever. You know what? I'm just going to put the link to the movie down below in the comment box of this long, weird chat of mine. So you all can watch the movie there. I found the movie on YouTube. A lot of crazy ass sounds outside tonight. Probably help if I close the window. I can't believe I have 7 viewers, man. Do you guys have a life? So, I lost a viewer saying that. Cool. Either you guys care what I have to say, or you're just bored. Why else would you be clicking on? I like to know who's actually talking to me, or sitting here, watching me talk. 7 views again. Interesting. Tomorrow I'm going to be looking back at this chat and going, oh, I can't believe I actually said that. Like, I can't believe I told people that. It's all true, of course, but this is like really putting a bullseye on my back, basically. I wonder if you guys are if you're hearing me live or if you're listening to the recording. I've been saying if you're like 5 minutes behind me or not, or if you're actually hearing me live as it goes on. There's a link spec. I'm going to see if this link actually works. No, of course it won't. That would be too easy. Although I did highlight it. Let me see. Yeah, and how does that work? It doesn't. There's supposed to be a chat box here, and I can't find it either. I got the box up, but I can type to you guys. But for some reason, I cannot receive other people's chat back, which is really quite annoying. What's the point of having a live chat if you can't even talk to the people that are listening to you? Oh, I see I have 2 comments. Let me see what's here. There's a storm outside right now, so you're hearing a lot of wind gusting. Apparently the comments are old comments. Is there anybody actually typing on this video or not? This live. I don't see any comments coming through whatsoever. Well, I'm going to post a link right here. Let's see if anybody actually receives it. I need to close that window. It's pretty cold. Ow. I have to pick that up still. There, close that damn window. If anybody knows how that would actually work, so that I could see their comments left in the comment box, please let me know how that works, because I'm not seeing anybody's comments. Unless I'm supposed to go to the live event itself on my live event page. Let me see here. Video manager page, I mean. Did you all witness my video plummeting? There was 1,300 views on my video, and then 5 minutes later it went down to 55 views. That was really quite weird. So if I mute that, two people thumbs up, 7 people are watching. I can actually see who's watching, and everybody's saying, "Hey, I can actually see your guys' commentary from once." That sounded like it hurt. Yeah. This is this big old plant stand. I can actually see you guys typing now. Finally, I actually understand what's going on here. Okay, so hi Matt, hi Ricky, hi Rashid, Gunho. Hey guys. And no, man, it didn't hurt at all. It was just annoying. Hey, cool. I can actually see this. That's finally, man. I mean, how many live streams have I made where I actually couldn't read anybody's commentary? So how you guys all doing? And I did mean that sincerely. I wasn't being an ass. You all got any issues you want me to resolve? Any questions? Like, where the fuck are you at, War Drums Fire? Or what kind of tobacco do you smoke? Or anything stupid like that? What's my dog's name? I don't know. So who wants some female bashing? That's what you come to me for, right? So what would you guys like me to talk about? Oh, I got a viewer from Australia. Pretty cool. So what made you guys even log in to check out what I'm saying? Is it the title, Delusion Dispelling? That's the cunt. I am pretty good at that. I have to get in the zone first for that. What do you guys think about the transsexuals, by the way? About them sharing bathrooms with women and men, so that men can now go into the females' bathrooms and shit like that. That is fucked up. Are you guys noticing that the fakeness in females now? Oh, don't mention that name here, man. Jessica Valente's not welcome here. So I saw a live view in my news feed, so live view. So I checked it out live. Okay. Oh, that actually pops up in your news feed. That's pretty cool. Who's the perv? Yeah, that's very true. They definitely want it both ways. These comments don't actually end up later on in the video. That's quite sad. The comment, all this commentary does not end up on the video. Go figure, right? Fucking YouTube. So did you guys see how my views went down on yeah, talk about narcissism. Yeah, what am I gonna say? Um I can tell you that every celebrity in the world is a fucking narcissist. Every single motherfucking one of them. Every single celebrity you know is a narcissist, and narcissism is psychopathic. I don't understand this. It's common knowledge that narcissism is psychopathic. Instead of locking these motherfuckers up, we worship them. What the hell? Ugh, sickening. I'm trying to think about what I just read in the news yesterday, and I was going to bring it up, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. It was something to do with the feminists again, another movement they were doing in Germany. I couldn't remember what it was now. That really sucks. I don't have any plans for videos, guys. All I ever do is turn on the fucking microphone and talk for 10 minutes. And usually I'm either pissed off with the news that I've watched during the day or I'm pissed off with some damn woman at the local supermarket. I don't know. Somebody always pisses me off and I come and make a video about it. Amen to that one, Gunho. That's very true. Only idiots worship celebrities. They should make billboards that say that. Only idiots worship celebrities. Big fucking billboards, man. That's what I see this week about that. Wait, yes, most people have no idea what narcissism really is. They think it looks like a mirror. No, 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 no. I hate that fucking man. That is so not true. The narcissist actually hates the mirror. I don't know where this delusion came from. Oh, narcissist looked inside of the river until he died. The ancient Greek mythology crap. It's actually the opposite. What you know about vampires, that's what a narcissist is. That's the simple fact. Narcissism is what we know that vampires are. They can't stand looking at themselves. They have to be invited in. They have no empathy, no mercy. They're predators. They have no respect. They do what they need to survive. That's what narcissists are, and that's what a vampire is. They're exactly the same. They suck out your life force. They don't give a fuck about you. When you're drained out, that's when they get rid of you. And always the honeymoon phase, huh? That 6-month bullshit. If you get a really bad narcissist, they can carry it out for 10 months usually, but that's usually when they're surrounded. You actually have to believe the delusion to let it last. I've dealt with men that married for 20 years with a narcissist, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Every time I've ever come across a narcissist, I figured out they're a narcissist and I kicked them out of my life. Yeah, they definitely suck out your energy. They also keep you awake. I don't know if you all seen that. That's exactly true, Rashid. That's exactly true. It should be more connected to the myth of vampires than it should be. That's very true. I don't even know how the fuck we can mess that up. How that could even be confused. It makes no sense how it can be confused from a guy sitting looking in a lake or a vampire. They don't even know the meaning of responsibility. Yeah, I knew this guy. I had this. Oh, that's a pretty good story. There was this guy that came to my channel, and he was complaining about his wife. He said his daughter became a complete narcissist. And I made videos about him. I was talking to him through my videos. And he was telling me how bad his daughter was, that she was a complete narcissistic, demonic slut, fucking a harlot. Horrible. He was telling me the story that she got a teacher expelled from her school. And I said, why did your daughter get a teacher expelled from school? Why did he get, I don't know, it was paid leave or some shit like that. I'm not sure exactly what it was. He told me that she was a narcissist and she was using Ouija boards and talking to demons and shit like that. And he believed her story that her teacher was sexually coming on to her. he began to tell me the story that she set the teacher up for her boyfriend to witness it, and she said that her teacher was coming on to her, and that he got kicked off the campus for that on paid leave. But I'm saying, why would you believe that, man? You know your daughter's a narcissist. She lies about everything. I said, that's going to come down upon you. She lives in your house. If she gets arrested, she'll be pulled out of your house. It'll be upsetting to your girlfriend. You're basically living with a person that just lies all the time. Why would you actually keep her in your house? And, oh, but I love my daughter. She would never lie to me. She turns her narcissism off when she talks to me. And I'm like, dude, no narcissist in the world turns off their fucking narcissism to talk to you. That's his narcissistic acceptance. And that's something we should be talking about here, because that's what's going on in the world today, too. We are living in a world of narcissistic acceptance. We should not accept what we are seeing. We should not give in to what we are seeing. We should know that it's completely fucking wrong. And in the United States right now, too, they want to make it that a woman can have an abortion after 7 months of carrying the child. But there are many studies and many actual events that 5-month-old children could still live normal, productive lives. They would live in an incubator for a couple of months until they were ready to go home with their parents. But even a 5-month-old child could be saved in the womb. But now they want to make abortion laws where they can terminate the baby at 7 months old. Narcissism basically is a selfish love for yourself, where you only care about yourself. Narcissism in a female is like this. I don't want to have a baby because it'll give me stretch marks. I don't want to have a baby because I'll have to lose the baby fat. I don't want to have a baby because I'll have to go through all these emotional issues. I don't want to have a baby because it'll make me be responsible. I don't want to have a baby because I want to stay a child myself. I don't want to have a baby because I want to be the kid. I want to be the princess. I want the one with all the attention. I want. That's, I mean, why do you think abortion came in at the same time that sexual revolution came in? Why are they even linked together? If women want to get rid of dependency on men, why does abortion come into play? How does abortion come into play? If the sexual revolution was to get rid of men and to be independent of men, then how the fuck in hell does abortion come into play? It only comes into play when you consider the fact that they're using the baby as a control mechanism on the man. If the man does not marry her, she can kill the child. She won't be stuck with the man's child that didn't want her. She won't have to keep looking at the daddy when she doesn't have the daddy. She won't have to raise a bastard child. And then when you look at all the single housing and single mother housing right now, and the single mothers out there, combined with the amount of abortion out there, you cannot tell me that it's the fucking men that are saying no to the women. It's the women saying no to the men, because there's 50 million abortions right now in America, and I don't know how many millions of single mothers. Where are the men? Tell me where the men are, please. Are all men just not wanting to be with the woman? Are all men evil scumbags that they don't take care of the children? No. Why are the men leaving? It's men leaving. The media likes to make it out like all men are just fuck-arounds and they can't stay with a woman and they don't know how to take care of a woman. Think about the insanity of a female actually saying on the news, a man does not know how to take care of a woman. You know how insane that statement is? It is so fucking insane. They are literally trying to make it seem like all men are drug addicts, all men are alcoholics, all men are just losers and don't pay their child support. That's the whole portrait they are portraying to females, which scares females and at the same time makes men look like pieces of shit. Could you imagine walking around with a sign on a college campus today that said women are children murderers, women are evil? Could you imagine walking around with a sign like that? No. But females could do it to men, no problem. And that's actually a double standard that we gave them in the 1970s. Here you go, women, shit on us. Here you go, women, shit on us. That's what double standards are. Here you go, women, shit on us. I mean, if you even think about why they need an abortion, they could have used a condom. They didn't do it. The man could have not ejaculated inside of her. They didn't do that. She could have took the morning after pill. She didn't do that. She could have used birth control. Didn't do that. There's all these options of not getting pregnant. It's more harder today to get pregnant than it is not to get pregnant. It is more harder to stop that. It is more harder today to get pregnant than it is not to get pregnant. Yes, but they let themselves get destroyed by women because they are raised by single mothers. It's brainwashed into them. Exactly. That's exactly right, Gunho. It begins with the mother. But as if I'm going to go back to my priest side of me, my pastor side of me, it says there that the fruit never falls far from the tree. If the mother is narcissistic, the daughter is going to be narcissistic as well. I disagree on that, Jack. It starts pretty much in the morning if you're living with a woman because she manipulates you 24/7. The bedroom usually happens at the end of the day or midday, but never really in the morning, but she's already active in the morning. Well, if men know what their roles are, that they're supposed to be leaders. You know, the 1950s man never would have tolerated the fact that he was not allowed to control his woman. No man in the 1950s would tolerate in the 2015 that they were not allowed to control their woman. What kind of marriage is that? You control your children, you control your dog, you control your cat, but you can't control your wife from going out sleeping around or going out partying or trying to tear you down. Yeah, what kind of government says, if there's no man in the house, we'll pay you more money? What kind of government says that? Get rid of the man and we'll double the money that you get. Just tell the judge that he hit you and you'll win custody. You know, when a man gets divorced too, and he has a custody dispute, he usually has to go find like one, two, three, four, five lawyers before he actually finally finds a lawyer that will take on this case. Because the lawyers already know that men are not going to win. What would explain your ex-girlfriend? Rashid, you just hit it on the head. You just hit the nail on the head, man. Except you forgot to add in satanic. It's definitely corrupt. But we've allowed it to become corrupt. We haven't stood up for our own rights and said, fuck this shit. If the men would stand up, man, the government will go down. I'm totally against big government. Government should be small, not large and not large and in charge, man. And they're trying to fuck with the internet right now too, and they're probably going to get away with it also. Now, it's a whole different topic, really quick. I hope you all know that Palestine is the invading force. What's this truth that you both wrote true? True on what? The legal system is corrupt, but you wrote true that you would have replied to your own statement. So what was true? Fuck it. Ricky, I'm still waiting to hear what you said. You said that would explain my ex-girlfriend. What was it that would explain your ex-girlfriend? Everybody's making statements on my comments, but I'm speaking so damn fast. I don't even know what the hell, what you guys are replying to. What parts? Oh yeah, men definitely need to fight. Just look at the 1950s, man, compared to the 2015 men. Just look 65 years ago. Look at the difference in men. They were bears, man. They were tanks. They were rhino men. They were men. They were manly men, you know. They were men's men, not females' men. Men used to be men's men. We used to have men's clubs. We used to hang out together. Men used to be around men more than they were around females. Yes, but why are they manginas? It's so easy to say now they are manginas, but you have to analyze why they are. And when you realize why they are, you could fix the tiny things inside and you could swap it around. You could change it yourself. But if all you keep saying is, now they are manginas, or now they are losers, and now they are white knight fags, it doesn't help anything. They're not goddesses. They're trailer trash. They sold their soul. I mean, you guys have heard the stories, right, about the casting couch? I don't know if you guys are interested in the casting couch, but it's quite interesting about this goddess worship crap. Gung ho, you're forgetting the fact that our entire system has been feminized. Men have literally said, okay, women catch up to us. They don't even see that. They think that they're equal to us. But if we stopped bowing down to them, they would realize how superior we are. We put them on a pedestal. If we knock the pedestal out, they would see that they're not as tall as they think they are. We have to put them on a pedestal so they look eye to us. Think about that. And if you remove the pedestal, then they'll realize that they're not that powerful as they think they are. They're not even powerful. They're just manipulative. Where's the power? I've already been talking for 2 hours, guys. You're right, Mohammed. You're actually right. That's very true. You could, and the plastic bottles, the plastic that you drink out of, those Coca-Cola bottles, man, they have female estrogen mimickers inside of them. That's very true. I buy BPA plastic, so I don't get that crap in my system. Matt Gentry, that is very true, that statement. But it's not just feminism, it's government as well. It's all a part of it. You all need to read the letter from. I'm just going to post it. I'll post it for you guys. You guys need to read the Albert Pike letter. Just read what he writes in there, and you'll see what's going on. Everybody keeps calling it conspiracy, conspiracy. There's no conspiracy. This letter was really written. It really went out, and it explains the entire system, what they're trying to do. Comments can contain links. Oh, that's totally gay. YouTube won't let me post a link in the comment box. Man, that is really lame. They don't let you monetize live streams either. Faggots. That really sucks. You can't post images either, can you? No, you can't post images either. YouTube. Oh, come on. Character limit as well? Damn. YouTube, you are seriously gay. 1,000 characters still missing. Well, I'll just have to post it in small chunks. Really? Again, too long? Let's see here. Yeah, YouTube is definitely gay. They keep blocking some of my best videos. I don't know what the fuck just happened. Okay. My YouTube is going crazy. Hey, Odin, be quiet, man. That's my dog that's crying in the background. You can probably see them. I got videos of them on my channel here. I have 2 Dalmatians. It's actually quite good to have dogs nowadays, but you all think I'm racist if I tell you why. I think every household nowadays should have at least 1 dog. And this time of the year, in this decade and era, I mean, everybody should have a dog. Satan is gay. That's quite funny, dude. Okay, let's see if that's enough there. Finally. Okay. Nice post. Man, fuck YouTube, man. That post didn't come out well. They're making sure that I can only send little chunks of post. Great. Hey, guys, I think I'll come back tomorrow and make another live chat. I gotta let my dogs out and stuff like that. I'll be back tomorrow making a new one. This was just like a trial run and all that. We'll talk tomorrow again. So I'll see you all tomorrow, and have a good evening. Take care of yourselves. Bye. Would you stop that crying?